is selling them a product.
That's got to be the mellifluous voice of George Peter Gatza speaking right now. Hello.
Yes, it is.
Greetings.
Hello.
I had to check if it was really you, Ethan.
No, it really is.
Yeah.
Oh, Airrick Debunks is in the chat. Why doesn't Airrick get in here?
I don't know. We've asked him.
Do you want me to get out?
No, there's room. I have room for like 10 people.
Why is Airrick Debunks a problem all the time? Why is he the way that he is?
I think he was born that way. I think God molded him in his image.
You know what? Like, if I didn't know better, I think he was a little light in the loafers. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? If I didn't know better, I'd be looking at that guy. I'd be like, that guy's a little bit flamboyant.
Uh-oh. You asked and he showed up. What's up, Eric?
For God's sake.
Hey, what's going on? What's up?
Eric, what's going on, brother?
Is that EVS?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I'm going to call you. I'm calling you Eric. I'm going to call you Eric June now, because June is Pride Month, and you are a homosexual, I believe.
I am, in fact, a homosexual. I'll take that.
Okay, so you are Eric June, and he will be Eric July. Do you accept that nomenclature?
Fuck, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Guys.
I would have said the good Eric and the bad Eric, but I mean, you do you, Ethan.
All right. Well, listen, here's what I wanted to say. I came back because you guys might not know this, but I am the star of an animated series. Are you aware of this, Tony? There is a show that is about me.
I'm not aware of this.
No.
The show is called Hail Salad, and the series finale just came out. I'd love to share it with you. It's only a few minutes. If you would watch it, I think you'll enjoy it.
Is that like Captain Ahab stuff, or
no? You watch the show.
Okay.
The new Camel Moon Hail Salad Blu-ray campaign is finally here.
That'll be good. I will watch that.
Featuring all new standees, t-shirts, minifigures, and much more.
Try to blur out my nudity with that.
That's
Head
me.
over to Indiegogo after watching this new episode. Enjoy the show.
Why are you naked?
Look at this freeze frame.
Why am I wearing like lace-up, dazzling boots? That's what I want to know.
Wearing like a Conan loincloth.
Yeah, it's a little bit,
Hail Salad finale made me weep no longer.
Good for you, Ethan. Good
Get
for
ready,
you.
guys. Here comes the last episode of the show.
Right.
Airrick Debunks is here.
Stroke me. Could be a winner, not you move so well. Stroke me. Look at these boring ass white people here.
These photos look sus. Yeah, share my screen and tell me if you give a fuck.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me show you this. This is disgusting.
My man Shane Davis. How you doing, man? Welcome.
Here's our July.
How's it going, Eric? Good to see you again.
I take as much time as you need, the highs, the lows, just everything that you've been a part of.
All right. I do plan ahead and I do think ahead, but I care as much about the sexuality of Robin as I do like whether he's a vegetarian or not. Because I mean, in all retrospect, it's paper. Paper is just paper. What's the value of that paper? Since probably 2008, like how can rates go down? The price of milk, the price of gas, everything else is going up.
I'm definitely jealous of his hair. Always have been.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Kill time listening to this bullshit for 4 hours.
I'm like, and I did what I made one of the.
Huh?
That's Shane Davis, by the way.
I know, yeah.
That's my spaceship with a dildo on it.
We're not going to get copyright claimed on this, are we?
No, of course not. No.
John Malin.
Painfully funny.
What do you think, Eric? Is this a good show? Are you hooked?
Yeah, let's ask Eric so far. Eric, what do you think so far?
Looks cool. I guess.
All right. This has got Young Rippa guest star.
I don't even know what is this? Is it episode 10?
Yeah.
Is it actually 9 previous episodes? Is that a real thing, or is this just a?
No, it's
like
a real
satire?
thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So what this guy does, he watches all of our shows and he clips us out of context and he creates weird versions of us and he does kind of a Space Ghost Coast to Coast thing with it. So okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
But he kind of captures the whole personality of every
Yeah.
It's very nice. Very clever.
2XL's being kind to me right now, Eric. There I am with my dyed beard.
Yeah.
It should be pink or purple.
Again, painfully
Nice.
funny.
Falling off. That beard dye, I'm embarrassed for you.
Best money you ever spent.
I get lesions on my face. Who am I trying to impress?
Herpes, they call that.
If I could go back in time and keep my white afro, they called it a Jew-fro back then.
It's a ridiculous rumor that you started.
I don't know, but hold on. Tell me when my voice stops sounding annoying. Ready? Hello, 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 hello.
I'm done with Ethan.
Yeah, why didn't I kill everyone? Oh, it's Pride Month. Yeah.
Yeah, I think next month is retard month.
Now listen, I don't want to make excuses for Jonestown.
I just groomed my neighbor's kid.
I don't want to sit here and like apologize.
I'm
for heaven's
subscribing.
sake.
I don't know if I'm
Great.
shocked.
You know what? I don't want to sound like an apologist for Squeaky Frome.
Women need leadership.
You don't need
Who's
evidence
the
to prove
dog?
that girl's a liar.
The dog is
They all-
John
John
Malin.
Now you know how Jesus felt. It was
That's Doug
crucified on the
Knaple.
tree of woe.
Yeah, but I mean, if you really think about it, Cecil's been a big zero for the past 2 years.
You know what? Perfect punishment? Weekend with Ezra Miller.
Thought Anne Frank had it rough.
I have a few girlfriends that nickname me the Flash.
And he can't even moonwalk.
My girlfriend just posted a new video.
Oh, look at that. What is that?
Whitney is pregnant.
No, you
Only
just put it in
fans.
the trash can and like they just are gone.
I threw a pillowcase full of kittens into the river earlier.
I swear to fucking God, I haven't seen anything like this since Elizabeth Smart.
She's like, I remember leaving your apartment and having sex with the cab driver.
Sketches owed an apology by everyone here.
Yeah, this whole thing is shredded. Look at this thing.
Whoa, whoa.
Anyway, not every fetus is pro-life. Look how cute that is.
She's got her first period last week.
That actually looks like you without a mask.
I'm explaining to her what her menses are right now.
By the way, this is still open. You can back it right now if you'd like to.
It's interesting.
Well, she's been on that like birth control where you don't have a period for like 7 years.
Do you have to have a period? Like, what happens if you don't?
That's our overlords listening to everything.
And now you tell me that you're having my baby.
Get ready for the gay.
Welcome to Gaylord himself.
Does he have big dong energy?
Hail. Cecil, been a long time.
I saw one meme of him flying in and shooting rainbow-colored dildos at Doug Knaple's face.
He went out of his house and did more things than John Malin.
I just got out of a holding cell yesterday.
Man, I'll tell you something. You know, like stop dyeing your mustache to that, black right here and the rest is white so you look like Hitler. Stop doing that.
What a fraud.
Probably dyed his beard too.
What a loser.
Hold on, let's take a minute here. First of all, welcome, Pornbot.
Pornbot needs cummies.
Say that again, baby.
Pornbot cares not if you're shaved or not. Things you over here at a glory hole.
Yeah, did I nut on my hand? what is this shit?
We know what you click on.
Pretty good at swallowing my feelings.
I only drink whole milk.
John, there's no such thing as a woman that used to be a man. There's just a man that used to have a dick.
He just wants to see a good movie where the guy fucks the invisible woman.
Most people just go to Puerto Rico for that, but like, there's also Epstein Island.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even put that together.
Speaking of the holy gay sex trinity, Liam's here.
I could listen to Liam talk all day.
So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for watching. I truly am retarded in that, there's I have no influence or anything anymore.
Great to hear from you again, Liam. You're making some really great points here tonight.
I'm sure that this will turn into another 4 or 5 hour EFAPs on 10 other channels because I'm so retarded, don't you know?
He showed images of hose attached to his penis.
He wants to have the Hugh Hefner lifestyle with real dolls.
All of this is about her boobies.
It takes a harem to raise a child.
Why do I have to fight in a ring? I want to fight with the hammers of justice.
Liam, little advice. Got to lose the anger.
I've beaten my kids a few times.
What about punching a girl in the mouth? You ever think about that?
Be gone, women. Go.
Shut up, nerd.
Liam, ignore John. You remember what Jesus said about his enemies? Always be jealous of guys like you that are good at sex and have money.
I mean, why? Why not turn to us for help when you want to? When you need help, why not? Why would you do it? We're right here.
Oh, we're gonna get flagged for this.
No, we're not.
Yeah,
None of us are perfect. Sometimes we need a friend.
It's probably one of the things I've seen in my life.
Or
This is the best Saturday morning cartoon I've ever seen.
So I'm gonna need an
Australian to lean on. Take it, Michael Bancroft.
Internet issues. You know what it's like here in Australia.
Lean on me. We all need somebody to lean on.
I love Ethan so.
Wow.
We all need somebody to lean on.
God, what the fuck?
That's what I've been saying, Ethan.
Yeah.
These are magical moments. We wouldn't have these without Liam.
I like the fact that everyone else can die except for me.
I believe Robert Chambers had that theory too.
I like the fact that make John Malin interesting.
What did we learn from this?
Goddamn, I'm about to puke.
Shane, you have something to say?
Listen, don't commit to a three-way.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Well done.
That was a thing that we watched.
Power of the goddamn booty.
Yeah.
Beauty of the booty.
Do you guys get paid for shit like this?
No, of course not. You know, it's just look, I mean, you know, but yeah, we should, but they're just making cartoons and stuff, and it's fun.
God, it's I remember the first cartoon with your Captain Ahab, and I showed that to my boss, and he was peeing his fucking pants. I had a whole law office peeing their pants like off of that cartoon. It was hilarious. I'm Captain Ahab. These bitches came in and said,
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that, Airrick Debunks?
I mean, it was fun. I don't get all the references. I haven't seen enough of your streams to know everybody that comes on there, so I don't understand a lot of stuff.
I've seen all of your streams.
You seen all mine?
Of course, yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I like that song you got, Eric, at the beginning of your one stream.
Oh, my after party song.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I appreciate it. I worked a whole 10 minutes on that one, so I'm glad you like that. Thank you. I appreciate it. No, it was a lot of fun. But no, I just caught my first Ethan Van Sciver stream was like 2 weekends ago. I think I came into one of your streams and
yeah, I was happy to see you there. It's nice to,
were you though? Really? Were you really happy to
I don't care. You guys are doing your thing. I don't. You know, you're doing your anti-chud thing. I am definitely king of the chuds.
Are you gay now, Ethan?
Am I gay? I'm not. No.
You just told me earlier that if you use chud referring to another man.
Oh, right. No, but I mean,
no, it's too late.
No.
Too late.
He was referring to himself.
Come on now.
That's even
please.
worse. He just caught it.
I'm just saying that. Yeah, of course. You're happy. You're welcome to be in there. It's nice.
Yeah.
I can't get any of your friends in there, so.
Oh, you mean the some of the people I stream with or whatever? Is that what you're talking about? Like I know. Look, you've had issues. Like I have seen a couple of the times that you've talked to some of the people that I've streamed with. You know, because I stream with a few different people. So I've seen those conversations, but I didn't think you had a lot of guests on your streams that don't share the same opinions as you usually. So
look where I am right now.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. This is I didn't even know. I didn't know you even came on the show. So you know,
yeah, nobody wants to come on my stream because I think the idea is that if you know the few times I've tried to organize things where it's like, hey, Nerdette, you know, you want to talk? Let's go on my show. She's like, no.
You've never
invited me to neutral grounds.
I would love to come on your stream. Ethan.
We know you would come on his stream literally more. You've made that very clear.
Okay, well I'm just putting it out there. Okay, shit.
Quite literally, you would come on his stream. I think.
Yeah. No, I have some people that I have issues with, but it's more or less specific stuff that I don't like. I don't generally I don't try to paint people with a broad brush unless they are do a bunch of consistent shit that I don't like. But yeah. To be honest, I didn't know. No offense or anything, but I knew you mostly through your work, and you know the Flash and stuff like that. I didn't realize all this other stuff was going on until I started diving into the waters here on YouTube.
It's wonderful.
So what horrible thing did Ethan do?
Well, that's what I said. I didn't know a lot about Ethan until recently, in terms of like all the Comicsgate stuff, to be honest, because I kind of.
And what do you think of Comicsgate when that name comes to mind?
Okay, so I think, and I've said this before.
Eric, you don't have to do this if you don't want to.
No.
We're being friendly here, like you know.
I hope I'm coming across friendly. I'm not trying to be rude.
Yeah,
Oh,
you are.
I know, but
Hey,
it's like you don't need to be
interrogator
assaulted
board.
here
All right,
about
sorry.
this.
Yeah, no.
I apologize if I came
No,
across
I get it.
dickish.
No. I get it.
Is that
I
a
get
word?
it. Look, a
Dickish?
very simple way to put this is I believe independent comics are extremely important to the ecosystem. I think creating comics outside of the mainstream is important. I think everybody should be allowed to make whatever kind of comics they want to make. If there's a market for it, those comics will survive. If there's not, they'll go away. That's just the reality of it. I may not necessarily agree with some of the values of people that make comics, but I don't think that anyone should be dismissed or not allowed to make something for those reasons. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, that's great. I agree.
Yeah.
So that's just it. I like independent comics because I think everybody should have an opportunity to make something they love to make.
That's where Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came from.
Yeah.
During the time when comics were great, Marvel and DC were killing it, and
You don't
Teenage
think comics
Mutant
are great
Ninja
anymore,
Turtles.
You don't think comics are great anymore?
I'm not gonna get it. We've already talked about it.
Well, but independent comics exist now, and you just said Ethan's comic was great. So comics are still great. Maybe not the mainstream in your opinion.
Right,
but they're
mainstream.
still
That's
great.
what I mean. But see, back then, independent comics really had a hard time surviving because just about every comic you took off the rack in the 80s and 90s from DC or Marvel, especially in the 80s, was fantastic. And that's really where Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hold that thought. You gotta hold that thought. You gotta hold that
flourished.
thought. Hold it.
Fuck them hoe ass roads, man.
Continue.
What
So
the fuck?
the point is, there's always an avenue. There's always an audience, and even if comics are great or if they're poor, there's an audience for everything, really.
I mean, I've been reading comics my entire life. I'm almost 50 years old, so I've been into comics since as far back as I can remember. So I've loved all types of comics. I got initially started out reading Marvel, like the X-Men comics, Chris Claremont, John Byrne, that era. That was kind of my introduction into comics. And then I eventually got into DC after that. So I've been a comic fan pretty much my entire life.
You read any comics that Ethan drew?
Just the stuff he's done for the mainstream companies, the Flash stuff and things like that.
It was hard to avoid back then. I mean, the stuff I was doing for DC, in the kind of the teens, the 2000 teens, and the 2000 was everywhere.
Yeah.
The Rebirth stuff and Sinestro Corps, Flash Rebirth. It was around.
I will say, I don't know if you guys have talked about it or not, but I'm kind of shocked at the prices for the Rippaverse stuff. I don't understand those membership prices. Yeah. That's
yeah.
I don't
with
get
you
that.
on that one.
$99 where you have to spend almost $4,000 to ever see any benefit from the discount of being subscribed for a year. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I don't.
Now, how do you do that math? How do you do $4,000?
Oh, it wasn't my math. That was
I think the highest tier is 49.
Yeah.
99,
No, it's
so
99.
that's 1200.
99.
More.
Yeah, there's 99. Somebody mentioned it on one of the streams. It might have even been here in Tony's stream. Somebody said they punched out the numbers and the percentage of discount that you get to see any real discount. You'd have to spend almost $4,000 to see a discount.
Yeah, so $4,000 times 30% discount, you're going to save $1,200. So you have to spend $4,000 to get the equal of the $1,200 that you spend.
See, and I can see that with like Amazon. If you're like my boss's wife orders from Amazon all the time, so they got the Prime, so they pay the monthly fee, which is less.
All right, come on, guys! Don't you want to spend $1,200 a year for your book to be in the mail 3 days earlier than everybody else's?
Well, now hold on a second. You guys, you ever pay $1,000 for a PBS tote bag? I mean, you're not paying for the tote bag. You're paying to support public broadcasting, like I do, because they show boobies at 3 a.m. on public TV. Like that's what it is. It's not. I don't think saying value for money when you're in a situation where the entire point is to sponsor a creator that you like on the internet. Is I really think that's kind of missing the point. Like he's just saying, look, right now I have a subscribe star. I don't have any huge tiers. I think I got like $5. But I don't have to give you anything for that. Like I do. I give people trading cards. But
those trading cards sell for 50 some odd more dollars.
Right. I know.
All right, more.
But I mean, the point of the matter is, again, like, it really is just about supporting creators that you like. And if you want to give Arrick July $100 a month, it doesn't really matter like what comes with it. It's you're just sponsoring him to continue yelling about the hoe ass roads. Which
But why don't you just become a channel member? He has channel memberships too on his channels.
Yeah, I guess so. Are they $100? I mean, you know, these
You
are
can
like
just super chat. You can just super chat him $100.
I just think it's
that's true too.
where
Yeah.
we come to in society.
There's nobody that I would spend $100 a month on. I'm sorry, there's nobody.
You
Nobody.
gotta pay for your friends or pay to be part of a tribe. It just sickening to me. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I mean, look, I get political donation. I'm gonna stick up for Arrick here, okay? Because I feel like it right now. I get texts from Trump. I get texts from local politicians all the time saying, "Hey, you know, we need money. What will you pledge?" And it's like $100, you know, something like that. I haven't donated very much in my time of my lifetime. I think I probably donated a cumulative total of $1,000 in political donations in my entire life. But I can see other people have and do. You know, it's like it's all about like whose voice do you want to hear, and if you want to hear Arrick July out there, talking about what he talks about, maybe you want to give him $100. Maybe you want to sponsor him.
He is absolutely going to have people that are going to pay for it. 100%. There's going to be people going to pay for it. I'm not disputing that. I'm saying from the standpoint of like trying to rationalize spending that much money for, you know, the perks that are offered. I don't personally, I don't see the value in that, but I'm sure some people will see value in that for them.
And I agree with that, but some people may, and I agree with Ethan on that. It's like, okay, well, if you just want to give money to somebody who is going to stick it to the left, and okay, great.
But it's fun to make fun of, though. It's fun to make fun of. So,
well, if you want to give money to someone who's going to stick it to the left and own the left, then give me money right here. We're going to own our enemies. Give us some money.
Wait, hold on. Now you're against the left. What am I doing here? What am I doing in this chat?
Well, hold on. Because if you want to stick it to people like Ethan, give me some money. And we're going to own Ethan.
There we go. That's better.
That'll work.
Anyone you want to own, Arrick. If you want to own the left, we'll own the left.
You want to whack it up with me, like whatever people give you guys to own me, can we split it on the DL? I mean, you know, I'll get it. I'll say some more incendiary things that'll send leftist packing towards giving you guys donations. If you'd like, we can work out a whole big scam behind the scenes. Let me know.
I thought we already did. I thought it was
that's right. Yeah, I'll let Arrick in on it. Arrick,
look, I think the misconception about me because of the communities that I'm that I hang out with mostly is that I don't know humor. I don't know how to take a joke or whatever. I'm a fucking Gen Xer. Like, I grew up when this humor was kind of a thing. I get it. Like, there's more to it for me than just somebody making a bad joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, look, the thing about it is that everybody's gotten so sensitive. And it's gotten so bad. For me, getting canceled was like the most freeing thing in the world. 10, 15 years ago, working in the comic book industry, people were friendly. Even though they didn't like you for your politics, we coexisted, and the jokes were kind of like, they were friendly. They call you a Nazi, but they would do it with love in their hearts. And then something changed, and I don't know what it is, but it sucks. Getting canceled sucked, and I think it's been if the point was to keep me quiet, I mean, it did the exact opposite. I feel more free
do you consider yourself canceled now, or was that just how you felt when this all happened? Because I don't consider you canceled now. I think you've got a very large group of supporters now. I mean, so
sure, yeah, people who support people who were canceled. But I mean, Arrick, like, I'm the guy who drew Sinestro Corps War and was nominated for an Eisner.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I should be able to work wherever I want, but I can't. So I can't go to Marvel or DC and say, "Hey, how you doing? Like, put me on a Green Lantern one shot or something like that." I can't, because even if I found a friendly editor over there, and I got a gig, your people would basically hound DC Comics and heckle that editor until I lost that gig.
Well, hold on, Ethan. I got to push back on you. Do we know it's Arrick's people? Does Arrick believe in hounding editors? Would you, if Ethan got a job at DC?
No, I don't care if Ethan worked for DC or not. It doesn't
So
matter.
there you
to
go.
me.
So it's not his people.
Well, maybe not his. Okay, so not Eric's people, but in other words, the left, the radical left, people who subscribe to cancel culture and
So
use it
Ethan,
as
let
a
me ask you
political
something.
weapon.
Are there people in the community that you associate with that go too far for you personally? Do you feel like some people sometimes go too far in the conservative community?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's also the same way in the progressive community. There are people that we don't always necessarily agree with that go too far and take things too far. So I think it's safe to say that everybody has people in their communities that they don't necessarily agree with, but you don't always hear people speak out about it, because the minute you say that you don't agree with something a conservative does, then you're looked at as a traitor within your own community. Would that be true?
I wouldn't look at it that way. To me, like, I look at it now as I'm not going to police anyone's speech. It's not that I'm worried about the ramifications of it. It's just that as soon as I do that, as soon as I say what this guy said goes too far, then that opens me up to other people saying that you're a hypocrite because what you said went too far for me. So maybe you deserve to be canceled. I'm coming from a place right now of just pretty much, and it took me a while to get here because early on I was very scared, and people saying this and that around or within Comicsgate was a problem for me, and I would criticize people and tell them to be quiet. I'm at a point right now where I don't care. Anybody can say whatever they want to say. I recognize a joke, and I also recognize people's political free speech. And if somebody wants to say something that I disagree with, I'm not going to be the guy to go, that's too far. I'm sorry. That's just too much. This guy's the bigot. I'm not going to do it.
Why do you turn gay when you say
so? Let me push back on what Eric. I want to push back on what Eric.
It's like,
is it really gay though? Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's gay. It's gay in the schoolyard sense, not in the homosexual sense.
I'll take it. Look. I tell people this all the time. Again, Gen X are here. I grew up when that word was thrown around all the time as meaning other things.
Lame,
and I'm not giving. Look, I'm not going to say I'm not the king of gays, right? So I'm not going to give something a pass, and say, oh, well, it should be that way for everybody. There are some people that don't like it because they grew up at a different time and this, that, and the other. And I understand that. But I also understand that sometimes when people say things, they don't mean them the way they are meant to be said. But you have to admit that sometimes people in communities hear someone with a large platform say something like that and they'll take it the wrong way. I'm just throwing that out there. They do.
Yeah, no, I
push
completely agree. And so my point of view from that is I don't care anymore. Like, I don't care because
I get
the consequence for that has been demonstrated to me to go way beyond what is fair and just. And I think people attack each other because they get some kind of internet high, some kind of power from hurting people and destroying people on the internet. And I personally am not going to be a part of it, especially not from people who agree with me about 90% of other things politically. I'm just not going to join in that kind of a witch hunt to purity test my own audience or my own fans or my own friends and peers. I'm not going to do it. What I am going to do is I'm going to push back against cancel culture and people who do try to oppress others for their speech. I will push back on that all day long.
Well,
I don't
let me
think
ask
that's
you a
right.
question, Ethan.
Yes.
So you won't do it publicly, but would you tell those people privately, like, hey, I think that may have been too far?
No, who cares what I think? I mean,
lots of people care what you think.
I was going to say, you have a pretty big following. I think a lot of people do care what you think.
But even if...
let me say that if people care what I think, then what I think is that people should be allowed to express themselves however they want without being punished for it. And that's the message that I would like to say. Now, just because somebody might say something where I'm like, that made me feel a little, icky, I'm not going to go to them in private and be like, by the way, let me do the voice again. By the way, guys, that really kind of was a little bit too far for me. Like, I'm not going to do, that's not who I am anymore. I mean, it's just not. I was that before because I worked in the mainstream comic book industry where everybody behaved that way, and I didn't see it for what it was. It's insidious. You should not be policing people's speech. You should accept that people disagree with you and still be able to work with people, work around people, and respect people's differences. And if you can't do that, if you have to hurt people and beat people into submission until they agree with you 100%, I think you're evil. I think that is an evil thing to do to people.
I agree with you, Ethan, but I didn't say for you to do that. What I said was, if someone
would I do it? No.
Here's the thing: like, if Extra Hero came out here and said some crazy shit behind the scenes, I'd be like, hey, dude, that was kind of crazy. Maybe, cut that, Not on my show. Don't do that.
Well, what I might say is if somebody says, "Do you agree with that?" I might say, "No, I don't agree with that." But what I'm not going to do is say, "Hey, knock that off. That person, you're a jerk. You're a bigot." I'm not going to do that. People.
Well, I'm not
people
talking
hit me
about
up
calling them pissed or bigots. I'm just saying, like, hey, like,
okay,
that's not
so
you. That's not you, Ethan. Why would you? That was kind of weird.
what do you think, Ethan? What do you think of a guy posing by ISOM's grave? What do you think of that? Should he do that? Is that great? I'm like, no, I don't. He shouldn't do that. But I'm not going to sit there and go, fucking kill that guy. That guy's. I'm not going to do that. If you ask my opinion about what I think about something, I might say I disagree with that. I don't think that's a good idea. But I'm not.
What
going
about you,
to,
Eric? What do you think about the ISOM photo?
Which one?
The grave photo.
I wouldn't do it. It's not something I would do. I wouldn't engage in that kind of shit. That's bullshit shenanigans, man. Like it's funny to see, but it's fucking stupid.
But so I want to push back on Eric on something you said earlier.
Yeah,
what's up? Like the far left, and they say all this stuff and they do all this shit, but they've gotten control. But it's people like you who never push back on them. I've heard Ethan push back on people.
More. He asked you a question.
How do you know that people like me haven't done that?
Well, I'm not hearing it, so maybe I misspoke on that, but it just seems like.
So you're asking a question. I just want to make sure that you're not.
I'm asking
accusing me of it
because I'm asking a question that people on this far left, because things have gotten so far out of hand. Has anybody ever said like you need to stop with some of this box checking and some of this anti-American, anti-Christian, anti-capitalist,
Man, I'm answering for a lot of people here. Holy shit, this is a lot of people. You're throwing a lot of.
Well, that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing.
Okay,
that's what we're seeing routinely is anti-Western civilization in a lot of comics.
You ask him a question, let him answer it.
Okay.
So you're asking me like I guess how I feel about that, or is that
have
the
you
question?
Ever pushed back? Have you ever stood up and said, "This isn't what the character should be. Make them what they should be," or "This isn't how it should be drawn," or "This character is not black." And why are you making?
What are we talking about?
One more.
Well,
hold on. More. You asked like 17 questions. Just ask a single question so a person can answer it. I think what he's saying, Eric, have you ever disagreed with the way comic book writers have handled characters changing their gender and
yes.
stuff? There you go.
Yes. The answer
See how easy
yes.
that was? You ask a simple question, you
it.
get a simple fucking answer.
I've talked about it on my streams before.
No. Have you ever confronted them?
Who's he going to confront?
The actual person? Probably not. I mean, I don't talk to a lot of like Ethan, and people in his field aren't always very accessible on social media. Sometimes
Dan Slott is not accessible.
He doesn't answer people a lot. Like he doesn't. Dan Slott, I think he took his profile private a few times. I mean, he doesn't really talk with people like that. The most I can do is what I do anyway, which is talk about it on video or make a video about it or talk about it on a stream or something, or on social media. Yes, there's been times that, of course, I've disagreed with stuff like that. My take, and this is how I feel about changes. If the changes that are being made to a character either are superficial or they're performative, I don't like that. If you're going to make a change to a character, it needs to be something meaningful. It needs to be a reason behind it. I don't like to be pandered to. As a gay person,
You're gay?
Yes, I'm gay.
What?
So, yes.
Hey,
for you. Apparently, I'm the king of the gays. But as
wouldn't it be the queen? Hold on. Wouldn't it be the queen of the gays?
I'm not fabulous enough to be a queen. I don't have enough jewelry and stuff for that. But
I think the queen of the gays is Madonna.
That's true. That's true. But to answer your question, to answer your question, at least in my experience in the gay community, is we understand what pandering looks like. We understand what that is. Okay. We don't like that any more than anybody else. We don't like performative allyship. We don't want people to make changes that are superficial, that don't make any sense. We want them to be meaningful. We want the characters to make a difference. The issue that we run into is that there is so much dislike of pandering from everyone that all of the changes get lumped into performative, meaning that if they do make a character that is actually, they have a justifiable reason for why they're doing it, it's never taken seriously because there's so much dislike for changes anyway that nobody will give it a chance. For example, you and I may watch a movie and I may agree with you on something being bad in the movie or bad in the comics or whatever it might be, whatever media we're consuming, but we can't even have a nuanced. Yeah, we can't even have a nuanced conversation because everything is so polarized. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
But that is not just a unique thing to the left. It is also on the right.
Well, we've been kind of beaten into that submission.
I haven't been beaten in any submission.
But the thing is, so how do you feel about like gay Robin or gay Superman or gay
Superboy, the Superboy that's bisexual? That one? Is that the one you're talking about?
They aged him up and
answer for all the gay characters.
Basically, I'm answering for every gay character of the comic. Okay.
Just start listing off gay characters and how you feel about it.
No, I mean, how do you feel like that as a gay person? Well, first of all, they call him bisexual, and I know because my brother's gay, and they look at bisexuals as just fooling yourself.
Hold on, stop. First off, I love how you do this thing where you go, this one gay guy said a thing, so then all the gay guys think this way.
No, because that's my window into the gay community.
But your brother is not all the gays. He might.
No, of course not. Of course not. But he. Well, there's a lot of gays there.
Stop drawing with a big ass brush. Okay.
No.
Secondly, Arrick is not the represent. He didn't come here representing the fucking lollipop.
I'm not saying. I'm asking how he feels about the pandering. I look at it as pandering.
More. Have I ever asked you, as a white man, how do you feel about anything? Have I? Because we don't do that here on the show, right? That's not what we do.
I jumped. So
okay, I'm sorry. You want me to apologize?
No. You're good. You're fine. You're fine. I don't have.
I'm trying to get a window. I'm trying to get a window into.
Yeah, you're not offending me at all. Like honestly, it's probably good that I'm here because the fact that you're asking me questions means that I get an opportunity to answer this, and that's amazing. I just jumped in kind of as a joke because Ethan told me to jump in, so I did. I thought it would be funny, but now that I'm here. So yeah. So, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, look, I never thought I'd ever speak to you, to be quite honest. So it is kind of a shock to have you call me out. So that was actually pretty fun.
It's fun. I mean, here's the thing: like, you know, most of the time when I want to talk to you guys, the anti SJW guys, you know, it's like you don't want to because you're like, I'm afraid I'm going to get mobbed and neutral grounds. We need neutral ground. This is neutral grounds. So I mean,
I'm pretty good. Also, I'm pretty good at holding myself. I've been on the internet since the late '80s. Like all of this troll culture stuff, and I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying like the people that get worried about that stuff. I'm not really one of those people. So for me, it's like I have no problem coming in here and having a conversation at all. And I'm not going to jump in here and start calling people names. I don't do that either. So, but with as far as what Morb is saying though, again, those are characters that have unique things about them. Like they didn't change Clark gay. They didn't make Superman gay, right? So they didn't do that. They introduced this concept that Superboy is bisexual. And from what I've read, I think it's okay. He's not my favorite character. I'm not going out. Like I don't buy comics because a character is gay. Like that's not why I buy comics.
What?
I buy a comic book because I like the comic book. And if the story is good, then I will continue to buy and support that comic book. That doesn't mean that there aren't people that buy it for, like, there might be people that'll buy it because the character is bi or gay. I don't know. There are probably people that do buy it for that reason. I grew up in the era of the X-Men, back when the comics code was a thing, back when gay people were coded to be a certain way. And Ethan probably knows a lot more about this than I do because he was in the industry. But there were things you could and couldn't do with characters. So a lot of stuff was coded back then. So I had to sort of imprint on characters as a gay person growing up because I didn't have any actual representation. So for people today to now have characters they can look at you and go, hey, I can identify with that character on a deeper level, as long as it's done in a way that's respectful, I don't have an issue with it. However, I do not like pandering. I don't like that. But everybody gets pandered to. When they put a woman with big titties on the cover of a comic book, they're trying to get you to buy it because there's a woman with big titties on the comic book. That's pandering. That's the reason that companies do that. That's the reason why.
Do you know what comic that is, Eric? Because
but so like, what about Iceman? Iceman was a heterosexual for quite some time.
So,
and he was well-established.
So gay people don't come out later in life. Gay people don't come out later in life, like 40, 50 years old. I'm asking as a genuine question. Gay people that are closeted sometimes don't come out until they're much older. Yeah, it happens all the time. My husband that I was with for 20 years was married for 5 years, had 3 children, and was gayer than I am. So, like, and that's quite gay because I'm gay as fuck. So he was really gay.
Did he drink too much atrazine?
So no, but my point being is that sometimes people do come out later in life as a gay person. It does happen. I said this, I think it was
it does happen. My brother did that. He was 28 when he came out.
Right. So the thing about it is, you are totally like, I understand, I get it. If there are characters that people love and they get changed, and you decide you don't want to support it anymore, you don't like the characters, I totally get it. I'm not saying everybody. You don't have to go, oh, I love everything they've done with this character. I'm not. That is not what I advocate for. I don't know anybody around me that advocates for that. But at the same time, also, I think it's important to show that there are, like, even if it's one individual person, to show that diversity does sometimes happen in a way that is unexpected. And with Iceman, they did it in a way that was unexpected. However, I will say there's a lot of questionable shit that happened with that, like with Jean Grey reading his mind and outing him. I mean, that was kind of fucked up, but that happens in real life. People get outed that way all the time. Friends do that all the time. One of my best friends online outed me to someone else that I didn't necessarily want to know, because I don't live near these people. They live on the other side of the country. He did it anyway and fucking backstabbed me that way. And it was awful. It was some bullshit.
The bitch.
So that stuff happened. Right, exactly. Such a bitch. I cut off all contact with him. Anyway, getting back to my point, because I'm going off on a tangent here.
Go for it.
With Iceman, I get that people were bummed out about it. However, my current partner, Iceman was always his favorite character. So when he found out that Iceman was coming out as gay later in life, he absolutely loved it. He loves the character more now than he ever did. And I think you will find some people that do.
Wasn't it earlier in life? Because wasn't it like the young Iceman?
Yeah, it was a time travel story. They brought in the younger version of him, and then the younger version told the other version it was okay to be out because, you know, he would be accepted and stuff. That's kind of how the story went. But then there was this whole thing about erasing their fucking memory. Like they did a really good job starting out, and they totally fucked it up later on by sending them back in time and making it so he didn't remember that he was out. It was really dumb.
Anything goes.
They fucked it up.
Excuse me, your friends can read your mind?
Yes, yeah, my friends can. We're all mutants. It's gay people have powers. Didn't you know that? We're all accepts. We're all accepts.
I actually respect your explanation of that.
Yeah, I sorry I got a little loud. I get very like
I respect what you said.
You were not loud. You've not watched the show a lot, Eric. We get much louder.
Yeah, most of the people that I know don't like to get into to debates and stuff for this very reason. But I feel like a genuine conversation between people does a lot more than like fighting with someone trying to get a gotcha moment. That's not really what I'm about.
And actually learned a lot hearing your perspective of that whole scenario. So actually, you know, even though I don't agree with
you don't have
whatever,
to. I don't try to.
I actually respect what you just said in your personal experience with that. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Look, I am very big on, and I appreciate that. I'm very big on people just hearing each other, even if we don't necessarily agree. That's more important than arguing and fighting, I think.
That's how it should be. Yeah.
Always in good faith.
Yeah, look at people in the chat are like, oh, I got owned. I wasn't trying to debate, folks. I just want to ask him how he felt about some of these changes. That's it, folks, in the chat.
Yeah, don't worry about the chat.
Everybody's asking. Everybody wants to be like a Destiny Vosh moment.
I wasn't trying
That's
to.
not
like,
who
there's
I
no,
am.
there's no more own. Like I'm not trying to own anybody. Look, the only thing I ever ask is people give me a listen, and if you don't like me, then just fucking mute me. So that's just all I can say. Like that's it. That's it. I'm an old ass gay guy. I've heard it all. There's nothing that can be said to me that I haven't heard in my life. So.
All right, so how did you get involved in the anti-Rippaverse thing? Like, what are your...
Okay, I tried to... So I have my main channel, which is Errick's Reloaded. I have my second channel, which is Airrick Debunks. And my main channel, I've been building up for the last 10 years. I'm not trying to become the biggest person on the platform. I just created as a space to talk about my favorite movies and TV shows and superhero stuff. And so that's what I did. And I tried to stay out of it. Like I didn't want to get involved with the Geeks and Gamers crew, Friday Night Tights, anything like that. I did my best to just ignore them and not talk about them because I felt like if I did that, I was platforming people that I didn't necessarily agree with what they were saying, and I didn't want to necessarily get involved in all of it. And then when She-Hulk came out, I was reviewing She-Hulk, and all of a sudden I was getting a lot of people from that community coming over into my streams, into my comment section, and just kind of attacking me. Yeah, pretty much. And so I pushed back a little bit, and they pushed back, and then I pushed back, and then that's how that really all started, was because of She-Hulk, basically.
What do you think about She-Hulk?
Yeah, did you like it?
I think She-Hulk was an interesting experiment. They were trying to do like a half-hour comedy thing with superheroes, and I don't know. Did you guys ever see that show Powerless that was on the DC show that came on for a while?
I think I've seen the commercial for it.
I've seen the trailers, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of tried to do the same thing. It was a half-hour comedy without a lot of superhero stuff. It wasn't very good.
Well, they were trying to do a law drama without people who knew anything about the law. And that
with She-Hulk, is that what you're talking about? Is it
Yeah.
talking about She-Hulk or Powerless? Yeah, with She-Hulk.
Yeah, She-Hulk.
So, She-Hulk to me, okay, so first of all, I've loved She-Hulk pretty much my entire life. I think John Byrne's She-Hulk is my favorite. I
Yes.
love the way
Hell
he
yeah.
draws the character. So,
Oh yeah.
we all agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so I love that character, and I think the show was quite interesting because I enjoyed parts of it, but I do understand there was some of it that didn't work. I will say what I think Marvel did nail with that is a different market, because I'm a DJ. I work in the nightclubs, so I interact with people quite often that know that I love comic book stuff. I'm always wearing t-shirts and supporting it. And I had several people come up to me because Megan Thee Stallion, who is a hip hop artist, was on She-Hulk, that controversial twerk scene that people either you love it or you meme it, one or the other. I just depends on where you go. So yeah. But
Same,
I
I
had
didn't
several
care.
people that came up to me that said, I didn't care about Marvel until they did that, and now I'm going to start watching Marvel to see if there's anything else that I like. So in that regard, they did sort of pick up some people, but I think they also lost some people in the process. So I don't know if that's a win or a fail for them, and I have no idea. But I do know that with She-Hulk particularly, going with something that's all VFX, all CGI, I think that it needs to be almost perfect, like Avatar perfect. And I don't necessarily think they got there with that. And I've complained about that quite often with the show. But I didn't hate the show. I thought the show had its moments. I don't think it was the best Marvel show I've ever seen. But
I think the last
Wasn't there
episode
a lot
sucked.
of man hate in that show. I mean, even Angry Joe by the end of it finally
Just no.
said,
Just no
"Yeah,
more.
okay,
just
there
no,
was,
just no more. We've had this discussion before. There was no man hate. If you go looking for stuff, you're gonna find it, right? You could literally pick up any piece of media, and if you go
even
looking for
Angry
anything,
Joe,
I don't give a fuck what Angry Joe said. He's not an authority on whether or not something contains a thing, right?
But people made videos saying that
I don't
it
give
was
a
man hate.
shit. I watched the show. I watched all the episodes. Said that there was no man hate.
I don't think it was accurate to the comic depiction. How about that? And say
That's a fine criticism to have.
Well,
Breaking-
I would say
breaking the fourth
90.
wall? Really?
95% of the stuff that's made isn't accurate to the comic. Like the whole Justice League run from Zack Snyder only had scenes from the comics. It was not, that story was nothing like the comic books.
You're right.
They weren't seeking to be accurate.
And it's
Well, I don't think it could be accurate. We've discussed this before, and Ethan probably knows this because he gets paid whenever they mention anything that he's created, right?
He
They
gets
probably
paid a lot.
avoid certain things. They go, oh, shit, I'm gonna have to pay those guys. Oh shit, I don't have to pay those guys. So they just take the characters and they go, oh, we put them in a new scenario similar to the old one, so we don't have to pay nobody. That's the whole reason that fucking Disney canceled all that Star Wars shit. Go, this ain't canon, and then they just brought those characters in one by one and just kind of changed everything so they could screw the fucking writers out of paying them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes that happens. Sure. Part of the reason why DC Comics is doing the new Justice League with the Brazilian Wonder Woman, the brown-skinned bisexual Aquaman. We call him Aqua Glad, Eric, and he's Aqua Lad. And then all these other characters. I don't know what it is. They got a black Batman. You'll see them. They're on the Hershey bar. Well, the reason why they're doing that is because essentially the time is going to come. It's coming up in which they fall into the public domain, or they fall victim to the Copyright Act in 1976. And DC's anticipating this. and creating a version of Wonder Woman that is not related to Sensation #1, and Superman, obviously, that isn't related to Action #1, and Batman, because all of those books are going to fall into the public domain and they're going to lose control of them. The big idea is that, look, if we create our own Wonder Woman that isn't Diana Prince, we're not going to have to pay the Marstons anymore.
I mean, Mickey Mouse is about to fall in the public domain. That was
They'll
about
never
to
let that happen.
He's not more. He's not.
No, that was about to happen.
More,
in
more, he's not.
1990.
He's 100% not. You
What?
You listen to people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Steamboat Willie is going to fall in the public domain. Mickey Mouse is not.
Okay.
Oh boy.
We've talked about this. Watch the damn show that you're sitting on, and you'll know because we've talked about these things.
Share my screen, Tony.
Which one? This one?
Okay.
Those are when they're going to fall into the public domain.
Yeah, but not. So what's going to happen is Superman in 2024 Action Comics #1 is going to fall into the public domain, which means that if you'd like to reprint Action Comics #1 and put it out, go ahead. You can do that. The public is going to be allowed to reprint Action Comics #1. You can do the characters that appear in Action Comics #1. But you'll have to be very, very, very careful. You cannot call your comic book Superman. You can say the man from beyond or something like that. And then you can depict Superman exactly the way he is in Action Comics #1 without stepping on DC Comics trademarks. And DC Comics has a trademark on Superman, the word Superman.
You can call him Mighty Isom or like the Amazing Isom.
Maybe, yeah. So that's what all that is. I mean, you know, it's Superman, the look that he appeared, in 1937, 1938, I think it was. That's going to be available for people, but you got to do it very, very careful.
No, actually, Ethan's 100. Ethan's is saying exactly the same thing I said about Steamboat Willie. You could take Action Comics #1 and launch your own new universe from Action Comics #1, that story, and then take that Superman character into a new direction, and it'll be fine. You'll be 100% safe.
According to IP law, though, trademarks run out. I think if it's under a nom de plume, 120 years.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Or it's 75 years after the author's death.
Okay, but how's that relevant to any of this?
Because that's the copyright, rather. The copyright is 75 years after the author's death.
Right, but the copyright only covers the work. It does not cover anything that follows it. So Action Comics #1 would expire, but then Action Comics #50 would not, because it's not the same amount of time. So the things that happen in 50 is still owned by the company that owns Action Comics, which in this case is DC.
Certain aspects of the comic are copyrighted or trademarked. You wouldn't be able to call him Clark Kent.
Trademarks only last for like 14 years, I think.
Yeah, they get updated all the time. You better believe that DC and Disney
don't last 14 years. I have mine for 30.
Yeah, DC and Disney are reinstating and finding loopholes and ways around this to protect their cash cows. So, I mean, I wouldn't even bother with it. It's just kind of like incidental. Like, there are certain things that, Buck Rogers in 2024, that might be safe. Popeye might be safe, I guess, if you do it the right way.
Because I know with like Master P and Beyonce, they put their kids on as partners on songs that they wrote, so that when they die, those songs will still be under the copyright.
No, that's not what
75 years after
their
kids die. So
don't be retarded. They did it because in the contract, they get percentages off the song, off the royalties. So if their kid is part of that contract, their kid's going to get that royalties all their life.
Right.
Regardless of the copyright. It's
right, but the copyright will last that much longer because the copyright lasts until the last person is dead. So, like with the Beatles, if Paul McCartney,
but they don't even
dies, then the clock starts ticking. Him and Ringo. When him and Ringo died, then the clock starts ticking.
Michael Jackson literally bought the Beatles songs because they didn't own them. You
They
realize
own.
that, right?
I think they still own some of them. I think they got them. Some of
No,
them back.
he sold them back. He sold them to Sony because
He sold them
was
to
broke.
Sony, yeah.
Okay.
So, please, if you're going to speak about something, at least know the thing that you're speaking about.
No, I do. I know copyright law and the fact.
Yeah,
that
but the examples you're using are
It's-
all the wrong examples.
right, but still, 75 years after the artist is dead.
Yeah.
Okay, then it enters the public domain, but you can put somebody on as a partner. So, like, if I write a song and I want to put my infant son on as a partner of the song, and I die, that son is still going to get proceeds from that song 75 years after he died.
Not necessarily. Your
Yes.
son, no, he'll have the copyright, but the copyright does not necessarily get you royalties, especially when it comes to songs, because you have a performance copyright, you have a song writing copyright, you have the copyright for the music video, the copyright for the live performances. Why do you think all these fucking people?
Why do you think
screwed?
Master P? Why do you think they did that? Him and Beyonce. They put their.
I just
infant
told you
kids-
why. I told you they're part of the contract, so they get
Right, but they
royalties.
also get
royalties have
proceeds
nothing to do with the copyright.
But their grandkids are going to get proceeds even after their kids die. These songs will still be copyrighted.
Right, but if the songs are not being used, they're not going to get any money. So what does it matter, sir?
Well, they probably
do
will
you
be
think
used.
in 100 years they're going to be paying all kind of money to fucking buy Beyonce?
100
songs?
years from now, they may play a Beyonce song. Who knows? The way our
Anyway,
society
Of course
is
they will.
deteriorating,
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway,
I mean, as long
we're
as they're
having World
single
War
ladies.
III anyway, so who cares?
I'm just wondering. We're talking about Beyonce and the Beatles. I'm
No,
not
but
sure
you're
what
telling
to
me
say.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. When
No,
it
you
comes to
know about
copyright.
copyright, but you don't know why Beyonce and Jay-Z specifically did the things they did. You're like trying to read their mind and go, "This is why they did that," when it could very well be a completely different reason.
Yeah, but still, it's genius to do it that way. It is smart to
Saying
do it.
Jay-Z
that
are
way.
geniuses.
Anyway,
Yeah, JD Kirby's accurate. Federal trademark lasts 10 years, and then it gets renewed every 10 years. That's exactly what I've been doing since 1990.
Right, but it does expire and you have to renew it. Whereas copyright, you can't renew, and it goes away 75 years after your death. Or if you're under a nom de plume, it's 120 years when you're alive, when it's published.
Or until you declare it public domain.
are you going to declare Cyberfrog public domain, Ethan, before you die?
No, I'm going to hand it to my children. I mean, I'm hoping that, I do enough good work with Cyberfrog during the rest of my life so that, maybe after I die, somebody would want to make a TV show or a movie or a video game. And my kids will reap the benefits of that. So they will own everything that I create.
Make them partners. Make them like part of your whole thing, and then they will get to.
What are you talking about? That's generational wealth, what Ethan just said.
Exactly.
Oh man, I don't know how
And
the
for
hell we
trade
got this far off
trade
track.
secrets are not registered, and there is no expiration date, but you got to keep them secret. That's why, like Coca-Cola and KFC, they have no actual trademark or no registration on their recipes, but they are fucking secret.
No, they're not. Everybody knows what the recipes are. Come on.
You're 100% wrong. Again, please, if you know what you're talking about, then talk. But
No.
if you don't know, don't talk, because it's 100% proven that KFC has a trademark on their recipe, because when people recreate it, they fucking sue them. If they didn't have a trademark, they'd have no grounds to sue people over the recipe.
I was under the impression that it was a
And
trade
you were wrong.
secret.
You were wrong then, sir. That's it. You're just wrong. They say I'm
Okay,
wrong.
well,
I'm getting heated.
I don't know. I don't know. That's not what I've been told. But still, with trade, you were wrong on trademarks because they have to be renewed all the time.
I didn't even say anything about trademarks.
Somebody did.
Yeah, the guy in the chat.
Oh, that
Anyway, so these are all entering the public domain. So get on it. I'm going to do a Zorro story.
I thought Conan entered the public domain in 2019.
No.
Fucking Doc Savage in 2029? Seriously?
You know the beauty of this is anything in 1927 and before is in the public domain, 100% undisputed. Next year it'll be 1928. Next year it'll be 1929. Next year 1930, and so forth.
Robert E. Howard died what in 32?
Either way, George was wrong about one thing. Peter Pan's never going to enter the public domain.
Yes, it can.
No, they specifically wrote a law in Europe, was Britain, because he left it to a hospital, a children's hospital. And the children's hospital makes so much money. Basically, if they lose the Peter Pan license or the trademark, the copyright on it, they'll fucking go broke. So they're like, we're going to write a special law so you could always own Peter Pan Hospital.
It's stuck on, I believe it's stuck only to the United Kingdom borders.
Yeah. Okay, so Conan's in the public domain in Europe.
Yeah. All right. So we've mended some bridges. We got Airrick Debunks and Ethan on the same stream together. Hopefully one day we'll get Dane and Eric July here, and we'll have a big kumbaya session.
I don't think Eric July would ever be in a stream with me.
I don't think he'd ever be in a stream with me. So
not here, definitely not here.
Not here.
Just extend the olive branch.
Yeah, but I do. We've been here 4 hours and 11 minutes. I think it's time to end it. We're getting a little excitable. People are a little too high for having these conversations. Looking at you,
I had an edible.
I was looking at more really, but
sorry about that. Yeah, I took an edible. I'm sorry about that.
But anyway,
Won't happen again.
Hopefully, Eric, you're always welcome to be here. Like I say to EBS, you're always welcome to show up and discuss things.
I appreciate it.
It don't even have to be on a a drama stream or whatever. We talk indie comics. We have indie comic creators come on. You could hop on and
I would love
to see this thing that Eric's Rippa's strongest professional hater did. What is wrong with this guy?
Yeah, I saw that. We didn't show that on screen.
He made like an AI Eric July skin. Like what the hell is going on?
Oh, that one we did. I thought you were talking about the one with the gay porn.
It's very entertaining, Ethan.
What? What are you talking about? Oh, do you mean the puppet show one?
No.
What is going on, man? What?
People are creating art, man.
I can send you the link if you want to the gay porn one.
Whiz.
I'll send it to your.
Oh yeah, that's great. Thanks. Hater Headquarters is here. He says, "I am an artist." That's me. These guys are all alike, man. This guy is just like Riley. Is that Riley?
No.
That isn't Riley.
No. Anyway, the puppet guy, he's fantastic. You gotta.
Did you see the full puppet episode?
No, I haven't. I didn't subscribe.
You want to see the full puppet episode?
Yeah, let's do it.
No, he charges. It's behind a paywall.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that
all right.
I don't.
Wait, I'm subscribed to him.
Not subscribed to
it?
his. Yeah, he did a whole thing. Goes, the new episode's is ready. You got to be subscribed to his Patreon to get that episode.
Oh,
one of his. I've seen it. I got it. One of his office managers rapes him. It is. I mean, you guys are nuts. These people are crazy. Thinking about Eric July that much. It's crazy.
Finbar says, "Hero, don't fuck off. I'm coming in." So after the show ends, please stick around. Extra Hero, we're going to yell at you to be one of those struggle sessions. But again, you're always welcome, Eric, EBS, George, more maybe sometimes.
What? I'm a somebody. I'm a contender.
I said you're always welcome. Either way, thank you guys for watching.
I'm the one that everybody hates.
No one hates you. Make sure you put.
I hate him. I hate him. Does that count?
Hey, I don't. All right.
Put a like on the video.
I stand for more.
If you don't like EBS, then like this because he'll be upset by our likes. And if you hate Airrick Debunks, put a like on this because he'll be upset.
Definitely.
With all the likes. And always, super thanks are available. So if you're watching this on replay, feel free to just throw me some money.
Don't let Tony monetize me, please. That's the worst.
I'm clipping this again.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. And as always, love, peace.
It's good meeting all of you guys.
We out this bitch.
Ciao.